Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next episode. And today I have a very special guest, Lisa Apolinski. A very interesting surname. Lisa, the authority on authority power, America's digital content futurist, on Forbes.com, international author and speaker, and AI digital dominance strategist. I would like to also you probably explain to us, in a simple language what it all means.
Of course. When I talk about authority, I'm talking about becoming the clear go to in your industry for the problem that you solve. That when someone has an issue, everyone goes, oh, that's the person you pick. And I'm sure you can think of someone in your industry that if you have a certain, and I'm talking very niche, it doesn't mean that's all you solve, but that's what you are known for. That's your in the conversation. And by having that authority, especially now, right? Things are just banana sandwiches, as I like to say. It just things are just off kilter, and it's gonna be like this. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be our reality, and having that authority allows your right fit clients, your customers, to know who you are and who you serve and what problem you solve, to find you quickly in their mind and go, oh, I have this issue. That's the person I want. And because they already know you, the risk is so much lower for them. People are risk averse. I mean, think about if you are having conversation with clients and they go, oh, I have to think about it to hire you, or oh, I have to look at my budget. It eliminates that conversation because they're like, this person will get me to that success point, and that's who I want to hire.
That's very interesting and very popular actually, because I'm same as you are. I'm meeting so many business owners, and including me myself. I used to work with one niche, then I decided not to do it, and I think we always sitting in a fence, and I think we all worried about missing opportunities. What if I focus only on this thing? How do I get off to another thing? What if I miss opportunities? My knowledge is way more than that. Like that's really very spot on.
Yeah, and everyone has that fear, right? I mean, you want to, especially as business owners, we need to grab everything while we can. If we miss the opportunities, we feel like it's passed by. But what I have found in practicing authority power and teaching it to my clients is that helping them categorize you into a category of one actually deepens how much you charge and what else you can do. Because if they trust you that you will transform this problem, wouldn't it make sense that something that's problem adjacent you'd also be able to touch? And they're able to make that leap. You don't have to crawl and fight for those other opportunities. They present to you. I had a client, or I have a client who, um, I'm working with her on her authority power, and they started an Airbnb and said, "Hey, do you have any experience in how we can be like the chosen Airbnb for our space?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, because I also have an Airbnb." So it's, it's not like I list that service, right? But it was a natural conversation to have.
Very, very interesting. And I'm really wondering what's one defining moment that shaped how you approach digital business today?
Yeah. So I would say I've had a couple of defining moments. If I go back when I first started in my career, I learned authority power, and I didn't call it that. This wasn't a term anybody used. I watched my father. We had a family business, and my father was the go-to place to go. We ran a small neighborhood pharmacy, and everyone knew to talk to him. It was, and he was very good at that, about sharing his area of genius, having that personal brand. And in fact, the person who purchased the store from him, and you're talking a very small store against like the CVS's and Walgreens of the world. And it's still there 40 years later. I mean, think about
Wow.
that. It's still the neighborhood pharmacy because that individual is still leveraging my father's personal brand 40 years later. There's a lot of power in it. That was a defining moment, and going into my corporate career and just wanting to be known for something and claiming that area as mine. This is my narrative. I want to own this. And then in 2012, deciding that I was going to go on my own and leave a very, you know, fun, enjoyable, although stressful corporate career to go out on my own, and just knowing that I could still do this. And then in 2023, I decided to blow up my business. It had been, I had been doing very, very well, even through the pandemic. And like everything, things change. And I was like, things are not working as well anymore. I'm struggling to keep clients in. I'm struggling to have them continue the work. There's got to be a better way. And while I was struggling, small businesses were coming up to me. And you're going to think this is hilarious, Vera, because I didn't figure it out for like several months. It would come up to me and say, "Hey, I know you only work with Fortune 500s, but if I throw a bunch of money at you, would you be able to work with me?" And I had to have like four of those conversations to go, huh, maybe my demographic is changing. Maybe who I serve is changing. And then moving into that space. It was just so funny. And really just honing in, again, the riches are in the niches, honing in on this specific area of genius. What I do that is transformative, disruptive, and helps clients get what they want, which is not struggling every day, having a more predictive revenue stream, having people who see their content, hear them on a podcast, see them on a stage, read one of their books, and reach out to them and say, "I need to work with you. How do I do that?" Those are the best conversations to have.
Yeah, that's right. And I think we spoke with you in the past. I believe you used to run an agency, right?
Yes, yes. And
How big
now,
your agency was? Just
so
curious.
yeah, so my agency, I had a team of 15. So it was pretty big. And I worked a lot. And I noticed that I was working a lot to pay everybody else. And I actually saw a post on this just, I think it was yesterday, where he was talking about how he lived in his truck and he paid his VA before he paid himself. And I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of small businesses are like, "Yep, that tracks." And I was like, "There's got to be a better way than this. I'm. Everyone else is making money, and yet I'm still struggling. I'm struggling financially. I'm struggling psychologically. I'm exhausted. I'm working 70-hour weeks. There's got to be a better way." I didn't go into business for myself so that I would die. I went into business for myself so that I would thrive and enjoy all of my life, not just my career. And that was a conscious choice to step away from corporate, um, and just being able to do that. But yeah, there's so there's so much that we worry about when economic uncertainty happens, when we're just starting out, when we're transitioning and we're going, well, maybe I should pivot. And then those thoughts come back into our head, right? Those, "This isn't going to work. Something bad's going to happen." And to me, that's your mind protecting you for sure.
Yeah.
But you have to say, thank you. I acknowledge that, but I'm going to try this anyway. And really focusing in that niche. And I know it feels weird, right? I should be able to do everything and grab as much as I can. The problem with that is if you're saying you can do everything, every other agency is saying they can do everything. So then what's the differentiator?
Yeah, that's right.
Price. And price
Yeah.
is, it's a one-way ticket all the way to the bottom of of your revenue. It's just it's not the conversation to have because And your clients too don't want to just focus on price. They want to focus on value. They want to focus on results. We're the ones who can help that conversation and get them into that mindset. And if they know, okay, for this thing, you can do it better than anybody. I have, I know a guy, um, my person who does websites and apps. And you'd say,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, they do websites and apps. That's everybody. What I'll say is they make it an actual user experience that is holistic, that is seamless, that is, I would say, error free. And they code it in a way where you don't have to pay a maintenance package. They don't believe that maintenance packages are should be a thing if it's a new website. What a concept. You mean you set up your website so that it doesn't have 5,000 plugins and you use standard stuff that's been tested so that when updates come through, your client can actually do the updates and maybe they check in once a year for like a wellness check? Amazing. Amazing. So, and if anybody wants their name, please contact me. I refer so many people to them because he's that good. And the owner, Fahad, he knows the higher ups at WordPress. He consults with them. He learns about things that are coming so that he can then prepare his clients and their websites so they don't have a lot of maintenance issues and hiccups along the way. Because who wants that? And that's, think about it. If you have a website that's constantly being updated, your 3 a.m. problem is my website going to go down today? And I'm going to have to pay a ton of money to get it back and running.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
right.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I'm also running an agency, and we used to also offer everything to everybody. And I know when you talk about being overwhelmed, I've been there and I know it's really hard. It's not only with agencies, it's with so many business owners. And then at some point we stop. I decided, you know what? I don't want to offer building websites anymore. I don't want to, and we downsized to only two services. It's SEO and Google Ads. This is our area in expertise. If you want to be
Yep.
on the top of Google search results, organically or paid, you can come to us, but we do not do anything else. In the past, it was design, video production, content, and you name it, everything Vera could do, her team can do. And I've been
Yep.
exactly where you are saying, like, being so overwhelmed, paying two employees and then left with nothing really. And then family started effects and the health started being affected. Then everything is like, then you're
Yeah, and your
thinking,
and your health starts to be affected and your mental health starts to be affected. I mean, it's a domino effect. And again, I know a lot of, and I was resistant too. When I started out, and it's so funny, when I first started my agency, I focused only on content. Content was
mhm,
it. The name of my company was Three Dog Write, like write with a pen. It was, blogs, writing content. That was it. And then I slowly started listening to other agencies and slowly started offering other services. And I could do them and I could oversee them and I had the right team to work on them, but it wasn't my passion. It didn't bring me joy. Writing content, getting someone's, knowing exactly who they serve and the problem they solve, and helping them with that language so they confidently go out in the world and say, yeah, I do that. That's mine. To me, I love that. That's gold. And I was losing that every day by, like you were saying, building websites, doing SEO, doing this, doing that. And I'm like, is this really, if, and I ask my clients this, if there's one thing, if I told you tomorrow that there'd be only one thing that you can do, and I'm not saying that that's true, but if you were going to pick only one thing to do for the rest of your career, what would it be? Don't think about it, go. And it's amazing how people are like, oh, I would do this. Well, then and tell me about it. Tell me how you do it. And they share and they think, oh, yeah, well, I just do it this way. It's not a big deal. And there's one element in what they do that they almost throw away that is so disruptive and transformative and something no one's ever heard of. And I'm like, that's it. That's your niche. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it also gives your clients something to talk about. If they're going out and evangelizing on your behalf and you do everything, it's really hard for them to target anyone and talk about stuff. But if they know you do this one thing super well, when they go out and talk to people and they're talking about the problem that they have and that was solved with this solution, it's very easy for them to sell on your behalf. And now you have 2, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 clients out there that are, in essence, your brand ambassadors and your salespeople, because they will tell everybody this is who you hire. Hands down, hands down, hands down.
Yeah, that's right. And what's your thoughts on? You mentioned that you were in copywriting space and content writing, and we did the service as well. And obviously now, with all the AI and chat GPTs, that type of service kind of died. Although I still keep saying to clients, "Hey guys, Google is not gonna rank if your website is written by AI. AI algorithms would not rank AI." We still have copywriter in place, and I know it's more expensive now. Like human work is more expensive than AI.
Right.
What's your thoughts about that? Because you've been in that space and you see all the digital transformation.
Yeah, and it's funny, Vera. The other question I always get asked is, as editor in chief at Indie Books International, which is my other job, um, what do you think about people using AI to write books? So let's talk about that. When AI is writing something, it's grabbing everything that's already been written. So there's nothing new. There's nothing innovative. There's nothing transformative or disruptive in the content itself. It's regurgitating what's already out there. And that's not a differentiator. That's still a Me Too strategy. I think AI can be used in a couple of ways that can help you. I think that if you're stuck on an idea, you can research and see what else is out there. That's amazing. It saves you a ton of time. If you have transcripts, or you've presented your work, or you have a methodology and you want AI to kind of distill it for you and let you know what key components it sees compared to everybody else, that's also a great way to do it. If you have written something and you just want to check to see if my grammar and my spelling, because God knows my spelling is horrible, it can do that too. But using it to actually write, it does a couple of things that I think is a disservice to you. Number one, it strips out your humanity. It doesn't have your stories, the nuances in what your area of genius is. That's something it will never be able to capture. And I will say this too, your competitors can't capture it either because they're not you. They don't live in your head. There's a ton of stuff in your head that you probably dismiss that is absolute gold. So that's number one. And number two, it it can't it it whitewashes what it's sharing. It doesn't have your tonality. It doesn't have your personality. It can't reflect you accurately. And yes, I know people who train their AI agent, and that's great, but there's still elements, and you can it's almost got a metallic tang to it. I don't know how else to describe it. You can tell when something is AI touched
Yeah,
or generated.
long dashes, long dashes in the content.
Yes. And it makes me
That's
mad
one thing
because I
I
like
spot
using long
immediately.
dashes. Yeah, I like using long dashes. So that makes me upset. Um,
Oh, really?
and it,
Because I was
yeah,
wondering who's using long dashes like that. It's a lot. It's literally
I used
every.
to. I used to use it for emphasis, and now I'm like, oh, I can't use it. It's so upsetting. Um, and it also it repeats sentence structure. Um, there's a lot of things that are not like how we write, because we write the way we think and the way we speak. It doesn't mean that you should write something as if it's a speech, because reading it is different than hearing it. But there is that nuance, right? It's thinking it, hearing it in our head, writing it. And AI can't capture that. Um, it's and again, there's so many other ways you can use it without taking the writing element out. And people really, they kind of poo-poo writing. Like, I'm not a writer, blah blah blah. You are, because if you can talk about your area of genius, and if I was interviewing you or I put you on a stage and you could talk about it, why wouldn't you be able to write it down? And again, if you're not, you're like, oh, I don't like, I just feel like I'm not a good writer. Do talk to text, do transcriptions, and pull that down, and then you can work on that and see, because you'll have great language there. You'll use certain words in a certain cadence. You'll use certain sentence structures, and that needs to be reflected in your content. And when you use AI to just write it for you, you're stripping out everything that makes you you. And I don't like that. I want to know you. And so do your clients. Your clients want to have that connection with you. If they feel like they're talking to a robot like, or reading a robot like content, an AI content, you're putting a wall between yourself and your right fit clients. Why would they trust you with their hard earned money if they can't trust that what you've written is actually you?
Yeah, that's right. And do you think the content is still the best way to build authority, or there is something else taking over?
So I think that the right content is the best way to unleash your authority. The reason why I say that is this. Number one, your right fit clients are reading, even though some people are like, oh no, people don't read anymore. They still do. They read comments. They look at what's being said. They look at what you're saying and how you're saying it, because they are looking for information and they're looking for someone who is an authority. They may not say that out loud, but in the back of their head, that's who they're looking for. And the other thing is, AI is looking for authority too. So,
That's right.
right? So, if you think about the last few searches that you've done, it's been AI content that's come up, and it's either answer engine optimization, AEO, or
Yes.
generative engine optimization, GEO, where it's summarizing. And by the time your right fit client gets to you, AI has already interpreted your authority on their behalf, which is really scary. But that also means AI has the opportunity to learn about you and your area of genius through your content. And Reddit and LinkedIn are the top two sources for large language learning machines. They're gobbling that up like Tic Tacs because, and think about it, Reddit, yeah, there's a lot of crazy conversations on there, right? And it's just
Yeah.
eating that up. And then LinkedIn, again, the content, the comments. People throw away comments like, oh, insightful, great job. Don't do that. AI reads those too. And it's an opportunity for you to highlight your area of genius and have it associated with you. And I've gotten a client from a comment. I'm going to say that again. I made a comment on someone's post, and I got a client that I didn't know existed, that I'd never spoken to before. And she looked at my other content. She bought a couple of my books, and then she reached out to me and said, you're the person I need to help me get through this.
Wow, that's
Wow.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
cool.
really cool. And what do you think separates people from those who post content from those who actually convert from it?
Um, so I think the content element is the deciding factor. And my sixth book that's coming out, I co-authored it with my boss Henry DeVries and another absolute genius, Colt Briner, um, and that'll be coming out, I believe, in the fall. One of the things that we talk about in there, and I love this, and I'm so obsessed with with this concept, and I try to practice it every day. If you stopped posting your content tomorrow, would your audience go, "Are you okay? What's going on? Where's your content?"
Are you dead?
Yeah. Or would they go, "Meh," and they'd move on to somebody else? I have
Yeah.
people ask me, "Well, how often should I post?" And it's about the quality of your content. And the quality of your content can cause the difference between someone moving on or stopping and going, "This person knows something. I need to investigate further." And that's where that conversion comes in. Like the client I got, one comment, and it led to a new client. It can be that small, but it has to have an impact, and it always has to have value, and it should always be through the lens of your area of genius. If you're always focused, think of it like sunlight going into a magnifying glass and then psst, it just burns through. That's what you want. Burning through other digital noise so that everyone sees you and knows who you are, who you serve, and what problem you solve.
Yeah, talking about comments, I personally bought something out of someone who commented on somebody's video. And I used to kind of fish for clients from like a group chat on the comments, and
Mm-hmm.
also ended up, hiring two high ticket clients just from their comments. And I just knew I can help them. So of course I can't do this every day because it's time consuming, but that works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That absolutely works. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love the fact that you took the time to look at the chat in the group, the group chat and the comments and go, that's a problem I can solve. And part of that, and Vera, I want to acknowledge this for you, you noticed language that you were like, haha, opportunity. They said something in a certain way that you were like, that's the problem I solve. And if you go back to other clients that you've booked, they will say the problem in a similar way. And it should be an alert for you. Kind of like if you're in a relationship and someone says, we need to talk. And then you go, ah.
I think
It's
that's
a,
my husband. Every time I say we need to talk, he will try to escape the
yeah,
conversation.
exactly. He runs away. And you
He will
don't
be
mean it that way,
thinking.
but it's a trigger. It should be a trigger for you to go, hey, I need to talk to this person because I can help them. And speed in that situation while they're thinking about it is your friend. That's where you want to be. Absolutely. So well done. Well done.
Thank you. I could see on your wall the book about personal brand, and you built a strong personal brand. What advice would you give to someone who tried to become, through like a leader today? And I'm personally still building my personal brand, so I would like to hear what would be your recommendations.
So I'm of the belief that a category of one is the way to go. Um, a lot of people will say, I'm the CEO of. That's great. You're the CEO of your company. Or, I'm a consultant. Fantastic. What happens is the person who hears that puts you in that folder with 10 million other CEOs and 20 million other consultants, and you get lost immediately. That's how our brain works, right? We want to fit them in the puzzle and then move on. When you have a category of one, like I am the authority on authority power. My boyfriend, who doesn't know anything about marketing, knows that I'm the authority on authority power. He knows it. He can repeat it. He understands what it means. He used to make fun of me and say, "You're the authority on authority," and I'm like, "Yes, I am," and it's working because you're repeating it back to me. So My evil plan is working. Having that category of one helps people to quickly associate what it is that you do. So I'm the authority on the authority power. And then I have a very short defining statement. I work with, that's helping people say, oh, you work with someone like me. I work with authors, speakers, business owners, consultants who want to, that's key. It's not what I do, it's what they want. Because it's about them. We have to
Yes,
make it
it's about
about
them.
them. My personal brand isn't about me. My personal brand is about my right fit client who want to become the clear go to in their industry for the problem that they solve. Clear go to. They're the choice. They're the one. They're the chosen one, to quote Harry Potter. And that's, to me, if you can start there and get your category of one and make it very clear about who you serve and what problem they are hoping to solve by consulting with you, by working with you, you're 80% of the way there with your personal brand. And then again, everything that you do, your content, your conversations, your interviews, your speaking engagements, your books, everything goes through that lens, that area of genius. And it takes, I started I started in marketing over 30 years ago. And back then, when I used to do mail mergers, and that was a thing where we used to actually send this thing called mail, and we do it in
Actually,
bulk.
yeah, I still remember doing that when I used to work for a company, and that was maybe 17, 18 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like crazy. Like I can picture it like it was yesterday, and like having to yell out in the office, "Don't anyone print to the printer," because I'm printing 1,000 letters, and I need to line them up with the envelopes. I mean, that was a thing, because I had, oh, just craziness. Um, Before, it would be 7, 8, maybe 10 touches for them to be like, "Oh, I understand what you do. Awesome." It's now between 75 and 80. It's ridiculous the number of times you have to say something for someone to go, "I think you're the authority on authority power." Yeah. So if you feel like you're beating a dead horse saying it over and over and over, your category of one, you're probably about 50% of the way there, and you have to keep going. It's crazy what we have to do now, but doing those small things will just catapult you. Absolutely catapult you. And it starts with, again, understanding who specifically you serve. And I know you can serve everybody. I know. You're a genius. You're amazing. You're extraordinary. However, again, if you could only work with one type of client tomorrow, and it was your North Star client, I mean, it was just the cream of the cream. And if you aren't sure who that is, think about your South Star client, the worst client you've ever had. I can think of
That's
two
right.
immediately. I'm sure you can think of a couple.
Yeah.
And think about what they did, who they were, and then do the opposite of that. That's your North Star client. And if you could pick that, and again, we should be having fun while we're working. It doesn't have to be all drudge and toil and horribleness, right? We should be able to enjoy what we do. I love looking at my schedule and going, oh, I get to talk to that client today. Awesome. I didn't have that 10, 15 years ago when I first started. I had to take anything. And believe me, I took anything. And it was awful.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm at
did
a
that
point,
too.
right? And I'm at a point now where I'm like, no, I want to pick the right fit client. So if you're going to be real selective in who you work with for your own sanity and real selective in the problem that you solve initially, you're already on your way for your personal brand for sure.
Yeah, and that very like yeah, it's very nice advice. But what to do for those who are already working with so many things, and it's really hard. It's really hard to go into one direction. Is there any kind of way?
You have to make a choice. It has to be intentional. And you have to resist slipping back. And it can be very tough. And I am proof of that, because you're just like, oh, I'll just make this one exception. Oh, I'll just make this one exception. And when you make exceptions, they're no longer exceptions; they become the norm and the rule. Um,
Yeah.
but
You're losing
again,
yourself, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. But with my clients, when they say, okay, this is my category, this is the problem I'm going to focus on, I'm going to go all in on this and this group of people, they have results immediately. And I think that's how it makes it stick. If you get a client who contacts you after reading a comment, so you've done almost no work, although you've done a ton up to that point, and you suddenly are getting clients that are raising their hand and saying, how do I work with you? And they convert immediately. And I mean that. They convert immediately. You have a conversation, they go, yeah, you're the person. Because they've already experienced you before they ever talk to you with your content and by
Yeah.
showing
They
up with that
they made
area
the
of genius.
decision before speaking with you, right?
That's right.
That's
That's
the
right.
best.
And when you're getting those kinds of yeses, it reinforces the behavior. And, we want to have impact, absolutely. We want to have influence, no doubt. But we also want to have income. We want to make
That's right.
money. And when you start to actually make money and you go, oh, this doesn't have to be horrible. I don't have to kill myself every day. And I can do these things and show up and have clients that I love working with, who respect me, who actually, want to work with me, who recognize that I have something to bring to the table and value it, who pay on time, who show up, who do the work. That starts to reinforce, and to me that's how you get out of that I got to do everything for everybody, because once you start having those kinds of successes, I mean, my fastest yes was a 10-minute conversation, and I sent the invoice an hour later and it was paid within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I
And
love
what
when
if
it
you had
happens.
that
It's the
over and
best.
over and over? And the client is amazing, and I love working with them. And I love when I see them on my schedule, because I'm like, yeah, I get to work with them today, because they show up, because they do the work, and they're having the results. So it's not just about what I'm experiencing, it's what they're experiencing. And when they have results, and I have clients who call me and they're like, are you sitting down? Yes, I'm sitting down. And they tell me about something extraordinary that happened. I got this speaking gig and I haven't spoken in 10 years and they're paying me. And I haven't spoken in 10 years and they're throwing money at me and they're flying me out. Amazing. I just got this massive client, and it made my quarter. This one client put me, up above the line for the quarter. Yeah, that becomes the norm. That becomes something that regularly happens. And it kind of makes me sad that people have these extraordinary results and they think, oh, this is just a one time thing. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be. You have extraordinary talent. You have an area of genius. I know it. I believe that. It's having it shared with others so that they can see it too. Stop hiding it. Stop it. Stop hiding it.
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
that for you.
Something I used to struggle in the past, and I like to speak this to all other women. I had this problem of saying no. I would, and especially with agencies, and when clients asking you extra little favor free of charge or extra this, extra that, and you can't say no because you want to be this good person. And then you realize that those people don't even thank you, not only financially, they don't
Right.
even thank you.
They
And
don't even
then
thank you.
it's really like for me, I even read a book about it. Like I don't remember the name, but there was a book about this, and I had to learn actually. And I probably know you probably know what it feels like. And so, what would be your recommendation? There are some women, some business owners in the same situation like we used to be in the past, and there's somebody who just started. How do you come off this stupid thing when you can't say no?
Yes. So, a couple of things. Having this area of genius also gives you bumpers. right? It gives you a very clear line of that's not what I do. And I've used that time and time again, where they're like, well, can you just know this is what I do? I can recommend someone to do that. Oh, but I know, yes, I know I can do it too, but this is what I do now. And just being able to have that boundary is huge. Um, and, you know, when it's a right fit client and you do a little bit more, they do thank you. They recommend you to other people. There is a reward. When it's a not right fit client, that's the ones that try to take advantage. And again, having this very delineated area of genius and knowing exactly the type of people that you want to work with can help you kind of remove some of those people. Or if you're doing it, because I do it, I am I have a brand of generosity and being relentlessly helpful. Like I'm going to help you whether you want it or not. And I do give stuff away because that's my love language. So areas of service are my love language, and I'm happy to do it because it gives me joy. Um, and with my right fit clients, I know it's being honored. I know it's being appreciated. I know it's being respected, and people don't abuse it. It's the people that abuse it that make it feel bad and wrong. And if we try to eliminate those people, then we
Yeah.
can still do it. And it's funny. It also can end up being a really great tool. And I had this. So my boyfriend is the same way. He's like, "Why are you giving all this away? And why are you doing this? And why are you having these calls? And why?" Because this is my brand. This is who I am, and I'm not going to not do that. I'm not. I'm more mindful of how much time I give away, but I still want to give away. I still want to do for others because that is just who I am. And I had a call with a new connection, and I knew she wasn't going to need my services. And we were having a conversation. Her name is Laura Patterson. She's amazing, and
Yeah.
she's in
She's
one of my
client of
groups.
ours actually.
Yeah, yeah. And when I was talking to her, she was talking about, I kind of think I should do a newsletter, but I'm not really sure how to set it up. And I said, let's have another call and spend 20 minutes and get it done. She's like, are you sure? Yeah, I'm absolutely sure because I've done it. I've done it for other clients. I can and that way you know that you're on the road to doing it because I'm with you and you're doing it. And we
Yeah.
did it. And her newsletter is amazing. And she's got thousands of people on her newsletter now. Who do you think she thinks of every time she does a new edition for her newsletter? This girl,
Yeah.
right here, this gal. Who do you think she talks to with others about me?
Yeah.
She's constantly advocating for me. She's absolutely one of my biggest fans because I was generous and because I wanted to help her, knowing I wouldn't get anything back because I didn't care. I just wanted to help her. I'm like, I can help you do that. And it was 20 minutes. It's not like I gave her 20 hours. It was fine. And
Yeah.
she's actually introduced me, and I've gotten a couple clients out of that. So to me, the rewards are there, but it's picking the right people to do it for us.
I can actually relate to that because we work with Laura Patterson as well, and she's been recommending us to so many other clients, and she always speaks highly about us. And also, I do exactly same as you are. I always try to bring extra value. I don't expect anything in return, but if there is something in return, it's extra bonus, right?
Exactly, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, try to under promise and over deliver. I think that's true no matter what. You don't have to go insane about it, but you definitely want to do that and just show up and Linda Fisk. Let's talk about Linda Fisk for a
Oh.
minute. She is so generous. I mean, think about how many introductions she does, and everything that she touches is like gold. And she wants everyone to succeed, and so she has so many fans that want to help her. I introduced her to two people this week that I'm like, oh, you absolutely have to meet Linda, and you have to join our group. You have to join Leadership Global and Curve Up. Like, this is a non issue. Again, I know a person. You have to meet her, you have to do it. This is going to help solve your problem. It's,
Yeah.
and she has that brand of being generous. And, I'm so thankful. But she's surrounded herself with people who are like, you're amazing, and now I need to show up for you.
Yeah, actually, I had a podcast with Linda, and she is one of the people who shaped who I am today.
Yeah.
And we talk about in our episode. And yeah, I'm very thankful for. I met her in person as well, and every time I fly to Dallas, we go for lunch or dinner.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
this year again, I'm gonna go to Dallas, and again, I'm gonna meet hopefully Linda. So yeah, I'm so happy that I actually met her because I met so many amazing women. And also in the past, we started talking about niche and niching down, right? So in the
Yeah.
past, I used to work only with men. I
Oh,
did not
interesting.
want to work with women because I had bad experience when I started my agency. My first clients were some women, and we were building websites and logo designs, and it was absolute nightmare. It was like, oh, I can't make my mind. I want to change my color. I want to change my logo. I want to like you. And then I thought, you know what? Us women are so complicated. Like we have this strange, hormone balance. Like we
Yeah.
today want one thing, tomorrow want something else. And I thought, oh my god, those clients drives me crazy. So and it was a time when I just started. I could not say no. I would do everything they requested, and I was like, and that's when I decided, right, I'm not going to work with women. And when I started to work with financial advisors and in financial space, 95% of my clients were men. And I thought, oh, it's way easier because very straightforward, yes or no, I know what I want. And then after actually working with Linda, now majority of our clients are now women, which is very interesting.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And it's not just women who will say, "Oh, I want to change the color or I want to change the logo," and that's comes out of fear, unfortunately. And the same around content. I mean, my goodness, talk about a trigger for people that they don't want to say the wrong thing, but then they don't say anything at all. And I always tell my clients, that one word, it's not going to cause your client to go, well, I'm not going to work with that person. Your logo is not the determining factor of whether or not someone's going to work with you. Your colors, not the determining factor. No one looks at colors and go, oh yeah, I trust this person. Nobody cares. The only person that cares is you. And you have to think about what your clients want. And they'd rather that you focus on the relationship and always giving them value and always showing up rather than what your brand colors are.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Before wrapping up, I want to ask a few powerful questions.
Sure.
What's the one tool or habit you can't live without?
Um, I can't live without walking or doing some sort of exercise. I exercise in some form every single day. My dog that just walked out of the room has me walking at least a couple miles a day, and then I do other things as well. I think movement is life, and if we are especially consultants and agency owners and authors and you're used to sitting at a desk in front of a computer, that is
Yeah,
not a natural
yeah.
place for us to be. Go outside, have some sunshine. Did you know there's an app now that you have to go outside and show that you're touching grass in order to unlock your social media?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would like to know
People
what
are
app is
using
this.
that. Yeah. People are using that so that they go outside and they stop being at their desk or on their phone. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I also very thankful for my dogs because for the last 5 years I've been up at 6 a.m. and I walk 10 to 15,000 steps a day. I have a special app.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it's really important, especially for those who sit. Like for me, I used to have back problem, migraines problem, all these
Yeah.
experiences from the stressful work. and
Yes.
sitting. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
important.
Absolutely.
And what
Absolutely.
about tool? What tool? Like we live in digital world. You're also in marketing.
Yeah. So, I love chat. I also love Claude, but I'm now leaning more into Chat GPT. So that is one of the tools that I use. I use it for research. I use it. I don't know if you've met Fran Pratt. She's also part of Leadership Global. She's in Australia. She is a sales solution or the sales solution architect. So she helps you to take the ick out of sales. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And she has an AI tool that I've been using that is phenomenal. It helps with how you pitch, it helps with the nuances of what you're saying and thinking about your services in a different way. And I also found out it slaps you if you try to price it too low. And
Oh,
that's
I love
another
that.
thing that women struggle with. We price our
Yeah,
stuff way too low. I have, and she didn't even know it would do this. I said, well, I was thinking of charging this for it. And it was like, absolutely not. I left thousands of dollars on the table. Thousands of dollars on the
yeah,
table.
I
And I
can
pitched it
relate.
and they were like, yeah. And the client didn't even blink. And I was like, oh my God. They could have said no because they might have said, "Oh, well, that's too low. It's not going to be what I think it's going to be." Um, so yeah, that I mean, and again, my boyfriend's like, "You use that a lot," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I, I'm I want to. I'm kind of just checking myself, right? I'm making sure I'm not doing something dumb, even though I've been in business for 14, 15 years. There are times when I panic like everybody else, and then I'm like, oh, maybe that's too low. Maybe that's too high. I don't know where to price it. And it helps give you that feedback. Now, it doesn't know all the marketing conditions and stuff, but it gives you a range and talks to you. Um, and and I know she's going to be offering the pitch architect this AI that she's trained with her monthly service that she does, her monthly coaching. Oh my God, worth it, worth it, worth it, worth it. Do it, do it, do it. I can't say enough
Yeah,
good things
okay.
about it.
I'll go and check. I'll go and check.
Yeah.
And my final question, what does growth means to you right now, personally and professionally?
Growth to me, professionally, I'll start professionally, means continuing to author books. That's first and foremost. Um, Continuing to serve my clients and learn. I want to make sure because things are moving so rapidly.
Yeah,
And we have to keep up. I mean, we're at a point where we have to keep up and seeing how to keep up and getting through all the trends and anything that's a fad and seeing what's going to stick to me is critical. I'm doing more. I'm doing more professional development now than I ever have, and I have to. And I'm making it part of just what I do and part of my budget because if I don't, my clients aren't going to get everything that I could do. So it's
yeah,
just having to make sure I'm a lifelong learner. Because if you think about it, you're trying to learn and you're trying to solve and you're trying to do the actual work that you just got hired for. No pressure.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And on my personal side, for me, growth is continuing, even though I imperfectly execute on it, I am continuing to work on having a schedule that serves me and not serving the schedule. Um, you know, it's very easy for me to slip into long days. It's very easy for me to go back to those habits of I'll just work this one Saturday. I'll just work this one Saturday and Sunday. I'll just work this one holiday. I'll work this. So having to work on my schedule and making sure that I have time to eat. I don't know if you've done that where you skip
yes, I
meals
done that.
altogether. Yeah, and you're like, whoops a daisies. You know, making sure that I have time to take a walk, making sure I have time to walk the dog, that I have time to meditate, that I have time to exercise, that I have time to spend with family, um, and to be present. That's another thing that I'm absolutely working on. to turn off my phone for a few hours because I'm not transporting organs for a patient on an operating table. I'm
Yeah,
cutting
that's
contact.
right.
It can wait. It can wait a few hours. The client might feel that it can't, but it can. And just really putting those boundaries in. And like you said, knowing when to do a little bit more and knowing when it's okay to say no because I don't have the bandwidth and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, that's very, very valuable advice. And I also recommend it for every woman who, especially women, like we wear so many hats. I actually started my business when I was 8 months pregnant with my second child. My first one was 1.5. I just got redundant from our company because they were shutting offices. And my friends were telling me, Vera, finally, there's a time for you to relax. Because with my first kid, I started working after 1 week I delivered her. And all my friends
Wow.
were thinking, and I wasn't forced. Financially, I could have stayed at home. My husband was doing okay, but I always had this thing like I need to be independent. I don't want to be dependent from my husband 100%. So I
Yeah.
always worked. And you know what? Time passed, and I actually regretted that I didn't have proper like maternity leave. I was always working. I was stressed.
Yeah.
Then having my own business, I thought I'll have more time, more freedom. I ended up working 24/7, having
Yeah.
sleepless nights with one baby in one arm and little toddler
Yeah.
without seeing me. So yeah, it's really important to have that work life balance, and just you need to prioritize yourself as well. Like right now, I do not work on Saturdays and Sundays, like
Yeah.
weekends.
Yeah.
Do not talk to me. Like I would not respond if somebody message me. So I think it's really important, especially for women who try to juggle so many things at the same time with family, work, and trying to be nice to everybody and
Right.
looking nice.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. Yep.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It was really a pleasure to speaking with you. I'm sure we're gonna meet again, and
Yes.
we are about to close this episode. We would leave all the links if anybody wants to speak to Lisa directly or want to work with Lisa. We would leave the links under this video, so feel free to get in touch with Lisa. I'm very sure she can help you with your brand or on direction you're moving forward with and your business.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vera. This was so much fun.